अस्सलामुअलैकुम। RFI प्रेजेंट्स के साथ मैं हूं नौरीन चौधरी। कराची राब्ता फोरम इंटरनेशनल और एरिया स्टडीज सेंटर फॉर यूरोप के ज़ेरे एहतमाम इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट के ऑडिटोरियम में नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का इनेकाद किया गया, जिसमें रीजनल कनेक्टिविटी पर मौजूद शुरका ने अपने ख्यालात का इजहार किया।
I welcome you all to the conference Future Prospects of Regional Connectivity through Dialogue in South Asia, Global and Strategic Perspective. Rabta Forum International and Area Study Center for Europe has jointly organized the conference today. The two institutions have a significant contribution to the field of research, and in past many years, they have successfully conducted many national and international conferences on global and regional issues of contemporary world. For the recitation, I request Mr. Sayyid Samiullah to come to the stage and recite a few verses from the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان. والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان. والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. तर्जुमा, रहमान ने कुरान सिखाया, उसी ने इंसान को पैदा किया और उसे बोलना सिखाया। आफताब और महताब हिसाब से हैं और सितारे और दरख्त दोनों सजदा करते हैं। उसी ने आसमान को बुलंद किया और उसी ने तराजू रखी ताकि तुम तोलने में तजावुज़ न करो। इंसाफ के साथ वज़न को ठीक रखो और तोल में कम न दो। और उसी ने मखलूक के लिए ज़मीन बिछाई जिसमें मेवे हैं और खोशे वाले खजूर के दरख्त हैं और बुस वाला अनाज है और खुशबूदार फूल है। पस ए इंसानों और जिन्नों, तुम अपने परवरदिगार की किस किस नियामत को जुटलाओगे। सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम।
Subhanallah. Ladies and gentlemen, I now request you all to rise for the national anthem. I now request Dr. Uzma Shujat to come to the stage. Dr. Shujat is Acting Director, Area Study Center for Europe, University of Karachi. She has been associated with the center as a teaching and research faculty
for more than 28 years. Dr. Shajat has been a participant of the European Union-sponsored CLIMA project in climate change management under the EU Asia Link research program with 7 universities of Europe and Asia as participants. Now she is an online tutor on climate change management and mitigation. Ma'am, please take your seat. I now take the opportunity to request our dignitaries who are gracious enough to join us in today's conference to kindly proceed to the stage. Dr. Shaista Tabassum, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, University of Karachi. Dr. Tabassum is currently working as the Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and is the professor at the Department of International Relations, University of Karachi. She has earlier served thrice as the chairperson of the department. Dr. Tabassum has contributed research papers, chapters, and a monograph, both at international and national levels. She has received a UNITAR fellowship under the United Nations Programme on International Law at the Peace Palace, The Hague, Netherlands. Her postdoctorate is in Public International Law from the Hague Academy of Law, Netherlands. I now take the opportunity to invite our next dignitary, Ambassador Najmuddin Sheikh. Ambassador Najmuddin Sheikh obtained his BCom degree from Sindh University and a master's degree from the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. He joined the Foreign Service of Pakistan in 1961. He served as ambassador to the US, Germany, Canada, and Iran before becoming Foreign Secretary during 1994 to 1997.
Sorry, please.
Ambassador Najmuddin Sheikh retired in 1991 and served thereafter as the President's Special Envoy to explain Pakistan's perspective to leaders in Central Asia, Africa, and Far East and Russia. He was Chancellor of the Institute of Business Management, a Karachi-based university, during 2015 to 2017. He regularly attends Track 2 meetings, writes for local and foreign media, and is a frequent commentator on foreign and local audiovisual media. I now request Dr. Khalid Muhammad Iraqi, Vice Chancellor, University of Karachi, to come to the stage. Dr. Khalid Muhammad Iraqi is an eminent academician and a seasoned administrator, currently serving as the Vice Chancellor of the University of Karachi. Dr. Iraqi completed his early education in Karachi and earned a PhD in public administration with a focus on governance, policy studies, and administrative reforms. His academic journey reflects a profound commitment to understanding and improving public administration and governance in Pakistan. Before becoming Vice Chancellor, Dr. Iraqi held several key positions within the University of Karachi, including Dean of the Faculty of Management and Administrative Sciences and Chairman of the Department of Public Administration. His leadership in these roles was marked by innovative reforms and an emphasis on research-driven policy development. As Vice Chancellor, Dr. Iraqi has initiated several projects aimed at enhancing the university's academic and research capabilities. He has focused on fostering a research-oriented culture, improving faculty development programs, and expanding the university's international collaborations. Under his leadership, the university has seen significant improvements in its research output and academic standoff. I request you to give a big round of applause for all the panelists and dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, I now request Dr. Uzma Shujaat, Acting Director, Area Study Center for Europe, to deliver her opening speech. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear students, faculty member, I extend a warm welcome to all those gathered here today, including our keynote speaker, Mr. Najmuddin Sheikh, former Foreign Secretary, Ambassador Khalilullah, Executive Director, Center for International Studies, Sindh, Dean Faculty of Science, Social Sciences, Dr. Shaista Tabassum, Mr. Nusrat Mirza, Chairman, Rabita Forum International, member of the civil societies, faculty members, and dear students. Ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries and participants, the new debate of contemporary international relations constitute the changing dynamics of state relations based on an integrated global structure. The existing world order of economic interdependence and the rise of the new alliances, particularly the energy and economic interdependence among various regions, indicate that a major geopolitical shift is taking place. Economic potential, resource sufficiency, market friendliness, trading feasibility, and connectivity of the countries and regions have become important to geopolitical studies. Ladies and gentlemen, the notion of geopolitics, the new great game, and the rise of Asia are the part of the debate. The new regional agreements have taken place, forging new alliances with shared common interest. China's emerging role in the world economy is also repeatedly being discussed in the context of challenging the US hegemony and its unilateral character. The main objective of the National Conference on Future Prospect of Regional Connectivity through Dialogue in South Asia is to provide an opportunity for the participants to think out of the box, explore the opportunities and challenges of regional cooperation, economic integration, connectivity, and actionable measures. Like energy cooperation is moving ahead. In 2023, there were a small but sure step towards a regional electric market. India is jointly cooperating with Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal to buy and sell power in the real-time energy market via India Energy Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many fresh starts in the regional trade and the connectivity, including rail rings, transit, and cargo vessels, pushing regional connectivity in the Bay of Bengal area between India, Bangladesh, and revival of ferry service after 40 years between India and Sri Lanka. Nepal renewed a treaty of transit with India, including climate cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, South Asia's vulnerability remains high. South Asia's climate vulnerabilities remain high. And even this year, extreme climate events, heavy rainfall, floods, and soaring temperature continuously hitting the region. There is a greater consensus on the need to work together on climate change management, according to the World Bank report on regional cooperation in 2023. South Asia is suffering from key major regional issues such as poverty, environmental degradations, trade and investment barriers, and food insecurity. So there is a question, why regionalism failed in South Asia? There are many reasons, but the antagonistic nature of interstate relations, disjointed economic policies, infrastructure, low trade initiatives, and religion-centric issues and militarized security speak of the failure of the regionalism in South Asia, having low prospects for sustainable regional integration. One thing is really important in the 21st century. One of the key debates and ideas about the development of the societies was revolving around the notion that nations would inevitably secularized as the modernized was misplaced. After the Second World War, there was an apparent decline of religious faith and growing secular approaches and inclination, especially in Western Europe, with the belief that technological development in every field to overcome social problems of hunger, poverty, underdevelopment would result in a sustained progress for all. In this process, it was believed that religion would be an inevitable casualty. But nothing much changes except that the 21st century notion that religion became irrelevant in many societies actually reverse happened. Now, interfaith harmony, social cohesion, and assimilation, irrespective of belief, race, and color, are the frontline casualties. And India, under Modi's Hindutva is the classical example of polarization in South Asia on the basis of religion. Besides, the biggest problem or challenge faced by the South Asian region is elevated inflation, balance of payment pressures, a slowdown in the global economy, and monetary tightening in other countries present renewed challenges, while the scar from the pandemic continue to weigh down on the economic recovery. The prospective scenario of regional connectivity illustrates number of benefits of regional trade agreements like accelerated trade and economic development, regional integration, and access to new markets. However, they also have significant downsides like trust deficit, political animosities, complicated laws of origin, and the trade divergence. Unfortunately, South Asia is described as one of the least integrated regions in the world. Despite geographical connectivity, the share of intra-regional trade, total trade in South Asian countries remains marginal at around 5%. However, the low level of intra-regional trade does not reflect the lack of complementarities between these countries. Another dimension of South Asian interconnectivity or the regional dynamics are Afghanistan's location at the crossroads of Middle East, Central Asia, and South Asia has for centuries made a smooth neighborhood relation elusive. The religious, ethnic, cultural ties and tussles run deep in the veins of the two sides. In recent times, no other crisis has profoundly affected Pakistan as the ongoing Afghan crisis has done so far. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan and Pakistan's stance on it proved a turning point for the bilateral relations. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a need for concerted global effort towards humanitarian assistance in Afghanistan. The regional countries and international organizations should come forward and in pushing use their leverage in pushing the Taliban regime for modernization, for moderation of their stance. The Taliban should realize that unless it's progressively and productively engaged with the international community and abides by humanitarian norms, a progressive and holistically stable Afghanistan would remain a mirage. Ladies and gentlemen, geopolitics is the first and the foremost compelling factor and the linkages between China's strategic goals and foreign policy objectives. China sets three tasks of modernization, national reconciliation, and safeguarding world peace while pursuing common development in the unipolar world, so it needs stability around China. Peace in the periphery, especially normalization of ties with India, becomes China's top priority. And China is working in terms of strategy, trade, market, and resources. So, ladies and gentlemen, in today's movements toward regional or even continental integration and formation of bloc identities, which is, which is concurrent with globalization of market economy and procession of cyberspace, the political map of the world has undergone significant changes. Many boundaries have become more preamble for people, goods, and capital. There is much to talk about on the regional connectivity and cooperation, but a lot more to accomplish ahead. In 2024, let's continue to build bridges that will be resilient and will stand the test of the time. With the shift in geopolitics, the indicators of the new great game also suggest the emerging role of Afghanistan in the context of regional connectivity. However, the discordant society of Afghanistan, the paradoxical nature of domestic politics, and the deteriorating security situation in the country remains vital challenges in this regard. The resetting of international and regional politics provides a broader scope for Afghanistan in becoming a regional transit and connectivity hub for South Asia, Central Asia to Europe and the Middle East through intra-regional trade and transit. This connectivity will not only ensure political and economic stability of Afghanistan, but will also contribute to establishing sustainable peace in the country and in the region. So, this national conference, ladies and gentlemen, aims to generate a debate to foster a strong regional connectivity among the South Asian states and beyond. The deliberation of the conference revolved around to facilitate social, economic, political, commercial cooperation. Its related advantages can be helpful in resolving many broader and bilateral disputes. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience and indulgence.
Thank you, Madam Uzma. I now request Mr. Nusrat Mirza, Chairman Rabta Forum International, to deliver welcome speech.
Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and very warm welcome to all of you. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you in this national conference on future prospects of regional connectivity through dialogue to South Asia, in South Asia, global and strategic perspective. Today, we gather to discuss and deliberate on one of the most pressing issues of our time, and I am delighted to see such a distinguished gathering of experts, scholars, and policymakers here with us. First and foremost, I extend a warm welcome and heartiest thanks to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Khalid M. Iraqi, Vice Chancellor of the University of Karachi. His esteemed presence and leadership at this prestigious institution inspires us all, and we are honored to have him here with us today. I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to Ambassador Najmuddin Sheikh Saab for honoring us with his presence today. His vast experience and insight are immensely valuable to our discussion, and his friendship and support are greatly cherished. Sir, you know very well the respect I have for you due to your services for the country of ours. I would like to extend my thanks to Dr. Uzma Shujat, the Executive Director of the Area Study Center of Europe at the University of Karachi. She has been very active in co-hosting this conference, and I am grateful for her cooperation. I also felt that she has the attitude and a spark in doing something good for the students of the University of Karachi, her directorate, and the country of Pakistan. A special thank to Dr. Shasta Tabassum, the Dean of Faculty of Art and Social Sciences. I'm also pleased to welcome Ambassador Qazi M. Khalilullah Saab, the Executive Director of the Center of Strategic Studies, SIS, to accept our request to chair the first session of this historical conference. My heartiest thanks to one of the most senior professor, Professor Dr. Tanveer Khalid Sahiba, for giving consent to chair this second session of this conference. Last but not least, my heartiest thanks for all the learned speakers and the participants of this conference. Before we examine the heart of our discussion, allow me to introduce Rabta Forum International, RFI. RFI was officially established on May 5, 2005, and from 2012 to June 2022, we have proudly conducted 52 seminars, conferences, workshops, strategic training programs, and webinars. In that period of time, RFI stood as the sole organization defending Pakistan's strategic interests in Karachi and Sindh. Our commitment to fostering dialogue and strategic discourse remain steadfast as we continue to navigate the complexities of our regional landscape. Here I would like to quote a verse from our great poet, जहाँ में अहले ईमा सूरत खुशी जीते हैं, इधर डूबे उधर निकले, उधर डूबे उधर निकले. So this is the case of our organization. Now, as you know, that since last about 17 years, from 2007 to 2024, we are publishing two magazines, a strategic magazine, Interaction, and Zawiya Nigah in Urdu, Interaction in English and Zawiya Nigah in Urdu. And then it is now reaching to the level, standard level, with the help of our friends, our two different think tanks. One CIS and the other is BTTN. RFI also has the digital TV channel, which is the most effective tool of this 21st century. And the importance of this thing is that we are transmitting our thoughts and our TV shows, talk shows, also short stories and news bulletin in Urdu, Sindhi, Pashto, Brahui, Balochi, and also in English. Then also our small think tank is publishing 4 books in this year: Emerging Technologies, Missile Series, and Ancient Civilization, and also a book which I will not name, will have the deterrence effect on our adversaries or adversaries. Today's conference topic, Future Prospect of the Regional Connectivity through Dialogue in South Asia, Global and Strategic Perspective, is of a paramount importance. In our interconnected world, the significance of regional connectivity cannot be overstated. South Asia, with the diverse cultures, economies, and political landscape, holds immense potential for growth and collaboration. However, realizing this potential requires a concerted effort to bridge divides and foster cooperative relationships. Regional connectivity encompasses a wide array of initiatives and strategies aimed at linking countries through infrastructures, trade, cultural exchanges, and diplomatic engagement. By enhancing these connections, we can create a more integrated and prosperous South Asia, capable of addressing shared challenges and seizing common opportunities. One of the key aspects of the regional connectivity is the development of the economic corridor and trade routes. These pathways not only facilitate the movement of the goods and the services, but also promote economic interdependence and stability. Through infrastructure projects such as roads, railways, and ports, we can reduce trade barriers, lower transportation costs, and increase the market access for business across the region. Moreover, cultural exchanges play a vital role for fostering mutual understanding and respect among South Asian nations by celebrating our shared heritage and enhancing our diverse traditions. We can build stronger and more realistic societies, education programs, tourism initiatives, and cultural festivals are just a few examples of how we can bridge cultural gaps and create a sense of regional harmony. Diplomatic engagement are equally crucial in promoting peace and stability in South Asia. Dialogue and negotiations are essential tools for resolving conflicts, building trust, and enhancing cooperation. By ordering diplomatic channels, we can address issues such as border disputes, security concerns, and resources management, paving the way for a more harmonious region. From a global perspective, South Asia's connectivity initiatives have far-reaching implications. As we strengthen our regional ties, we also enhance our collective influence on the global stage. South Asia's strategic location, demographic potential, and economic dynamic position makes it a key player in international affairs. By working together, we can amplify our voice in global forums, educate for our shared interests, and contribute to shaping a more just and equitable world order. Throughout today's conference, we will delve into these various dimensions of regional connectivity, examining both the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. Our esteemed speaker and panelists will share their insights and expertise, insight and expertise, providing us with a comprehensive understanding of the strategic landscape. We will explore case studies, best practices, and innovative approaches that have successfully enhanced connectivity in other regions, drawing lessons that can be applied to our context. Ultimately, our goal is to foster a robust and meaningful dialogue that will not only enhance our understanding but also lead to actionable strategies for promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in South Asia. By working together, we can transform the vision of the regional connectivity into the reality, creating a brighter future for all our nations. In conclusion, I once again extend my deepest thanks to all our distinguished guests, speakers, and participants for being here today. The contribution of all of us are vital to the success of this conference, and I look forward to enriching discussion that will unfold. Thank you, and let us embark on the journey of dialogue and discovery together.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Shaista Tabassum, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, to grace the conference with her speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Janab Najmuddin Sheikh Sahab, Vice Chancellor, Karachi University, Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood Iraqi Sahab, Nusrat Mirza Sahab, Qazi Khalilullah Sahab, Madam Tanveer Khalid, Dr. Uzma Shujaat, faculty members and students. Assalamu alaikum. A lot of has been said by the initial speakers that South Asia has immense and potential. It has diverse culture. It has, because of its historical, cultural, and language convergence in the region. There are chances and possibilities that this region may become one of the model region of the world. I have rescheduled my presentation, which I have already prepared, but I am going to talk about in three aspects. One is that, and most of those has been already talked by Dr. Uzma and Nusrat Mirza Sahab, that what are the potential areas of collaboration and cooperation in the region. One is obviously SARC. I mean, the platform that has been created in 1980s, and the SARC has practically been abandoned. It has not been given place neither by India and nor by any other state. In fact, Pakistan has been working hard to activate SARC, but so far that has been completely frozen. One of the organizations that has been created parallel to or part of the SARC was EFTA. ये एक economic and trade के लिए थी, मगर because of the reluctance of the powers to provide territories अपनी space और tariff के लिए कोई एक दूसरे के साथ cooperate करने के लिए तैयार नहीं था. इस वजह से EFTA भी ख़त्म हुआ हो गई एक तरह से. एक और area, one of the other area where collaboration could be possible and that have already been pointed out is the climate change. जो इस region में ख़ास तौर पे the Pakistan and India is suffering because of the disasters, climatic hazards, जो गर्मी और the water problem, यानी flood का जो the region means Bangladesh, Pakistan and India were hit by flood. और इसमें there is a great place, means I think that इतनी ज़्यादा इसमें possibility हो सकती है collaboration और cooperation की कि water management and flood की जो related to flood जितना भी management की जा सकती है एक दूसरे को बताया जाए पहले से, possibilities are there. of cooperation. फिर एक और जो area है that is been already discussed and it's the energy crisis. Energy crisis इस region को बहुत बुरी तरह से hit किया है और it is expected that the population would double by 2050 जो इस वक्त population है and they will, so it means that the energy crisis will triple, it will triple. Interestingly, some of the states like India, for example, had made collaboration with United States on peaceful use of nuclear energy, but they are reluctant to have any kind of dialogue and cooperation with the regional states. यानी पाकिस्तान के साथ तो सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता, लेकिन ये कि the other regional powers, they are also not being taken on board, especially with related to the use of peaceful nuclear energy. एक और जो लेटेस्ट हुआ था कुछ अरसे पहले दैट वाज द पीपल टू पीपल कांटेक्ट और उस सिलसिले में पाकिस्तान हैड टेकन इनिशिएटिव एंड द करतारपुर कॉरिडोर वाज created. Kartarpur corridor is a great success story because the Sikh जो उनको they were given the access to their religious shrine. Magar the diplomatic hurdles that have been created in the use of the Kartarpur corridor was also been noticed by not only by the international media, मगर हम सबको नज़र आ रहा है कि that how effective the Kartarpur corridor could be in bringing people to people, developing people to people contact. बहुत सारे areas means, for example, the IT industry. India is far ahead to the in the world. It's leading the Indians are leading the international IT market. लेकिन उसके बावजूद there is no possibility of collaboration and cooperation. There could be cooperation with the with Pakistan, with Bangladesh in the IT industry. So I am just mentioning some of the possible areas where the cooperation and connectivity could be developed. Let me just go into that. What are the real hurdles? पहला जो I think one of the major hurdle is the policy approach of India and Pakistan. India wants everything to be set aside and move on for the economic collaboration. जबकि पाकिस्तान की पॉलिसी ये है just decide all the dispute first and then we will go for the cooperation. ये एक one of the major hurdle in the relationship or connectivity or the dialogue that may proceed. ये आगे जाके आम जो जितने बीच में हुए अगर आपको याद हो कि that there was the composite dialogue that was initiated in 2000 and that had been completely abandoned. Why? Because of the divergence of the policies. Pakistan क्या चाहता है और India क्या चाहता है, तो इस वजह से number of the dialogues or the initiatives that have been taken, but they were all remain fruitless, and उसका कोई without any conclusion. Or it had become simply the place where the parties they sit together, they discuss, and that's over. Problem is why I am mentioning India-Pakistan. It's because India and Pakistan are the focus of this regional cooperation and connectivity. Agar if the hurdles would be ख़त्म हो जाए या कम हो जाए between the two states, there are high chances of more regional cooperation in South Asia. क्योंकि India had already developed closer relationship with Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and also to some extent to Bangladesh. Bangladesh के साथ अब इस वक्त I think that there are certain issues that have developed and it's because of the presence of China. China factor is also a very important hurdle because India sees China as its enemy. India sees that if Pakistan is trying to develop its connectivity through China, so India is a little bit apprehensive of the Pakistani-China relationship. और यही एक तरह से that has become a problem in the more closer relationship between Pakistan and India. Barry Busan, he is a writer of international security studies. He has mentioned that he has mentioned some of the issues that may be the hurdle in the relationship. And one of that is the problem of cheating, the mistrust. It's a huge area. I mean, I think that it requires to be patched up with most of the efforts that have been already made, but despite of all those efforts, they remain fruitless. उसका कोई result नहीं निकला क्योंकि there is a huge mistrust जो historical भी है, जो बढ़ता चला जा रहा है वक्त के साथ साथ, और उसमें जो प्रॉब्लम ऑफ चीटिंग है वो ये है कि जो इमैनुअल कांट का कहना था कि परपेचुअल पीस जो है वो कैन नॉट बी क्रिएटेड अनटिल अनलेस, यानी एक तो सबको मिलाना ज़रूरी है कांट की फ़िलासफ़ी के तहत, और दूसरी ये कि दे मस्ट बी डेमोक्रेसी, यानी रिपब्लिकन्स और डेमोक्रेटिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस कैन बी द बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स। तो प्रॉब्लम क्या आ रही है वो ये कि वी don't have a real democracy in most of the South Asian states. किन जगहों पे रियल डेमोक्रेसी है? क्या इंडिया में रियल डेमोक्रेसी है? ठीक है, अगर हो सकता है इंडिया में हो, बट व्हाट अबाउट बांग्लादेश, व्हाट अबाउट नेपाल, भूटान, मालदीव्स एंड ऑल्सो पाकिस्तान? So there is a mistrust, there is a problem of cheating. One of the other area that is, I believe in the international security studies, वो ये कहते हैं कि states जो हैं they believe in the relative gain, not the absolute gain. तो दोनों ये चाहती हैं कि that they will get some gain, not the real full gain, and therefore the relative gain is actually being used in between the relationship of all the states, means between Pakistan and India, between Pakistan and between India and Bangladesh even. जो issues आ रहे हैं, what are the hurdles in the real disputes? एक तो ये कि the trust that has been destroyed because of the Indian unilateral decision of abrogating the Article 370 and 35A. यहाँ से मामला ज़्यादा ख़राब हो गए between Pakistan and India. My focus is not only on Pakistan and India, but I will be talking about a little bit between Pakistan and Afghanistan as well, because my enemy's enemy is my best friend. Yani India and Afghanistan are moving closer, and it's because of my enemy's enemy is my best friend. We are not in good love-hate relationship with Afghanistan. We are actually in hate relationship with Afghanistan for quite a long time, and India is actually using that relationship, that gap, that vacuum that has been created. Pakistan is facing real trouble from the borders, from the western borders and from eastern borders. So how could the dialogue, how could the South Asian peace would be created when there is huge mistrust, when there is huge issue? There are a number of the issues that have remained unresolved. So talking about the dialogue, first we need to have some kind of trust to be developed between the masses, between the people-to-people contact. The people talk a lot about the people-to-people contact, but how could the people-to-people contact be created when there are very serious visa restrictions? So first we have to move for the relaxation in the terms and conditions of visas, especially between Pakistan and India, and also between Pakistan and Afghanistan, between Pakistan and Bangladesh. So when you go into the South Asian chemistry, आप देखते हैं कि that it's actually the story of the mistrust rather than of the trust. और trust जो है, we teach to our students that all the issues and all the problems in international relations can be resolved only by dialogue and negotiation. So negotiation and dialogue is the first step towards prosperous and develop South Asia, with which of which we can only dream of. यानी अब यहाँ की जो नई generation है, it simply dream of South Asia where there will be no conflict, where there will be no wars, internal proxy, the external involvement. और जो problem आ रही है वो यही है कि that some of the South Asian states, they are looking to Washington, some are looking to Beijing. So there is a involvement of the external element. So it's a very complicated and it's a very complex situation of South Asia. We can only hope that this region would become prosperous and develop in future. And I must congratulate Dr. Uzma Shujat and the organizers, Rabta Forum, that they have taken this initiative, arranging this conference, and I hope that it will bring some concrete suggestions and ideas, at least for this region. And I hope that it will give some ideas to you as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. May I now request Ambassador Najmuddin Sheikh to kindly deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go to the rostrum because uh, weakness, infirmity come to age, and I am now around my 85th birthday, so it's difficult for me to continue to stand for the 10 minutes or so that I will take in sharing with you my views on what connectivity, regional connectivity should be, what its context is, and what Pakistan's role in the past has been. Uh, can't be heard? No. सुनाई दे रहा है? अच्छा. Uh, sorry, in today's world, uh, the resource base, the geopolitical considerations, including location, are all basically needed. Regional connectivity among them are needed to allow the economic development, which should be the goal of any country, and which has been consistently Pakistan's goal despite all the vicissitudes, all the changes in our political system. We have been genuine supporters of regional connectivity because there has been the realization since the start that regional connectivity is one important element in trying to develop our economic potential and to realize that economic potential for the benefit of our people. To illustrate that, I'd like to talk about South Asia Regional Cooperation. Our late Foreign Secretary and then Foreign Minister Abdul Sattar and I had long discussions on this particular subject as to how can South Asia Regional Cooperation be changed from a concept to something that has become workable. And it was Mr. Sattar's idea that we should say not SARC, not SARC, but SAARC. To convert it from SARC to SAARC, because that would then mean the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. This was a very important change. I think that the whole idea was that to convert it from a concept to something which could be worked towards. And so we came to the conclusion, and I don't want to in any way exaggerate its importance, but this was one thing that made it obvious that Pakistan and Pakistan's representatives were hoping that regional connectivity could be promoted. This is not the only example. I was deeply involved with another change that we introduced when the Economic Cooperation Organization, with its three members, Pakistan, Iran, and Turkey, found that the Central Asian states, who had just become newly independent, wished to expand and to become part of ECO, the Economic Cooperation Organization. And we worked very hard. I was one of the people as ambassador in Iran, and worked with our ambassador in Amul in Istanbul to try and see whether we could enlarge ECO and include these states without requiring constitutional changes in the constitution of the three member states. Well, I don't want to suggest taking too much credit for it, but my efforts and those of Ambassador Inam Haq in Istanbul, we found a way whereby we could make this change without necessarily requiring a change in the constitutions of the three countries. Uh, the then Foreign Minister Vilayati was effusive in his praise of the method we had used to find a way out of this particular problem. But what I want to suggest is that more than the fact that there was a contribution by me in this particular regard, it was that there was a total backing for the fact that regional connectivity was something that Pakistan both desired and could move forward to with using whatever methods are available. And I use that only to illustrate. Uh, so my point in recalling this is that regional connectivity is something that, despite changes in our government, despite the vicissitudes of our political life, uh, regional connectivity is something that Pakistan has sought to encourage in every way. I mean, our previous speakers have spoken of this, and have spoken of the importance of regional connectivity and what lies ahead. Our president of the Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz, has said that there can be a working relationship, and that if there has been a failure, uh, it has been on Pakistan's part. Of course, this has been music to the ear of Indian commentators who have said that if there is a fault, that fault lay with Pakistan. That after Vajpayee's visit, and incidentally, I think we should recognize that Vajpayee's visit was very important from Pakistan's perspective, because what he said essentially was that Pakistan is here to stay, and Pakistan is going to be a country with which we have to deal. This was the message that we received and which was very welcome. But it earned him much criticism in India from those who felt that this was contrary to their dream of Akhand Bharat. And I mention this because uh, we'll talk about Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Modi's uh, current setbacks that his alliance has suffered, and what this would mean in terms of his future uh, 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 efforts in promoting or denigrating regional uh, connectivity. Because currently it has become clear that India is building regional connectivity by excluding Pakistan. As regional connectivity extends, you heard about Bangladesh and the problems with Bangladesh. But Bangladesh is something that India wants to cultivate, because that provides a route to connect with parts of India which would otherwise be inaccessible. And they are the relationship between uh, Bangladesh and West Bengal is of a particular nature, but it's of a nature which allows for promotion of cooperation if it is so desired, and if India is prepared to offer certain concessions. But my point in making this is that now, in terms of regional connectivity, it was the effort, particularly during the Modi era, and the Modi era is not yet over. It's currently he has had a setback. I attribute that setback to the anti-incumbency factor, that they've already had two terms and there is dissatisfaction, and traditionally in any democracy, you do have the fact that people become tired of what you've done or have not found what you've done satisfactory. This having been said, we must also acknowledge that he is going to form the government again, despite the Congress efforts to try and break his allies away. I don't think that effort is going to succeed. And so we will have a third term Modi. Will he be a chastened Modi in terms of relations with neighbors? I don't know. But as I said earlier, I think our uh, president of our PMLN, Nawaz Sharif, thinks that there is a possibility of a working relationship and that he and Modi can work this out. That Modi came at his invitation to the wedding in the family, and that there is a relationship. If that relationship exists, that relationship can be to Pakistan's benefit, because one must recognize that India is the regional hegemon. Whether we like it or not, you have to acknowledge that it is connectivity, regional connectivity should be what its context is and what Pakistan's rule in the past has been. The resource base, the geopolitical considerations, including location, are all basically needed. Regional connectivity among them are needed to allow the economic development, which should be the goal of any country, and which has been consistently Pakistan's goal despite all the vicissitudes, all the changes in our political system. We have been genuine supporters of regional connectivity because there has been the realization since the start that regional connectivity is one important element in trying to develop our economic potential and to realize that economic potential for the benefit of our people. To illustrate that, I'd like to talk about South Asia regional cooperation, that we should say not SARC, not SARC, but SAARC, converted from SARC to SAARC, because that will then mean the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. This is a very important change. I think that the whole idea was that to convert it from a concept to something which could be worked towards. And so we came to the conclusion, and I don't want to in any way exaggerate its importance, but this was one thing that made it obvious that Pakistan and Pakistan's representatives were hoping that regional connectivity could be promoted. This is not the only example. I was deeply involved with another change that we introduced when the Economic Cooperation Organization, with its three members, Pakistan, Iran, and Turkey, uh, found that the Central Asian states, who had just become newly independent, wished to expand and to become part of ECO, the Economic Cooperation Organization. And we worked very hard. Uh, I was one of the people in as ambassador in Iran, and worked with our ambassador in Amulak in Istanbul to try and see whether we could enlarge ECO and include these states without requiring constitutional changes and changes in the constitution of the three member states. Oh, well, I don't want to suggest taking too much credit for it, but my efforts and those of Ambassador Inamal Haq in Istanbul, we found a way whereby we could make this change without necessarily requiring a change in the constitutions of the three countries. Then Foreign Minister Vilayati was effusive in his praise of the method we had used to find a way out of this particular problem. But what I want to suggest is that more than the fact that there was a contribution by me in this particular regard, it was that there was a total backing for the fact that regional connectivity was something that Pakistan both desired and could move forward to with using whatever methods are available. And I use that only to illustrate. Uh, so my point in recalling this is that regional connectivity is something that, despite changes in our government, despite the vicissitudes of our political life, uh, regional connectivity is something that Pakistan has sought to encourage in every way. I mean, our previous speakers have spoken of this, and have spoken of the importance of regional connectivity and what lies ahead. Our president of the Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz, has said that uh, there can be a working relationship, and that if there has been a failure, uh, it has been on Pakistan's part. Of course, this has been music to the ear of Indian commentators who have said that if there is a fault, that fault lay with Pakistan. That after Vajpayee's visit, and incidentally, I think we should recognize that Vajpayee's visit was very important from Pakistan's perspective, because what he said essentially was that Pakistan is here to stay, and Pakistan is going to be a country with which we have to deal. This was the message that we received, and which was very welcome. But it earned him much criticism in India from those who felt that this was contrary to their dream of Akhand Bharat. And I mention this because uh, we'll talk about Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Modi's uh, current setbacks that his alliance has suffered, and what this would mean in terms of his future uh, 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 efforts in promoting or denigrating regional connectivity. Because currently, it has become clear that India is building regional connectivity by excluding Pakistan. As regional connectivity extends, you heard about Bangladesh and the problems with Bangladesh. But Bangladesh is something that India wants to cultivate, because that provides a route to connect with parts of India which would otherwise be inaccessible. And they are the relationship between uh, Bangladesh and West Bengal is of a particular nature, but it's of a nature which allows for promotion of cooperation if it is so desired, and if India is prepared to offer certain concessions. But my point in making this is that now, in terms of regional connectivity, it was the effort, particularly during the Modi era, and the Modi era is not yet over. It's currently he has had a setback. I attribute that setback to the anti-incumbency factor, that they already had 2 terms and there is dissatisfaction. And traditionally, in any democracy, you do have the fact that people become tired of what you've done or have not found what you've done satisfactory. This having been said, we must also acknowledge that he is going to form the government again, despite the Congress efforts to try and break his allies away. I don't think that effort is going to succeed. And so we will have a third term Modi. Will he be a chastened Modi in terms of relations with neighbors? I don't know. But as I said earlier, I think our president of our PMLN, Nawaz Sharif, thinks that there is a possibility of a working relationship and that he and Modi can work this out, that Modi came at his invitation to the wedding in the family, and that there is a relationship. If that relationship exists, that relationship can be to Pakistan's benefit, because one must recognize that India is the regional hegemon. Whether we like it or not, you have to acknowledge.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your valuable views with us. I now request Dr. Khalid Muhammad Iraqi, Vice Chancellor, University of Karachi, to deliver inaugural address.
Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Professor Dr. Tanveer Khalid Sahiba, my teacher, is sitting there. And Nadmun Sheikh Saab, the former Secretary of Pakistan, the keynote speaker. Qazi M. Khalilullah Saab, thank you, sir. Dr. Shaista Tabassum, Dean Faculty of Arts, University of Karachi. Dr. Nusrat Mirza, Chairman Rabta Forum International. Dr. Uzma Shujat, Director, Area Studies Center for Europe, the faculty members, and the participant. Assalamu alaikum ji. It is always a difficult task to conclude in the presence of Nadmu Sheikh Sahab, Nusrat Mirza Sahab, and 2 experts in the field of international relations talking about South Asia. Today, I live in a world, and the buzzword is connectivity. Whether we talk about the global connectivity, the regional connectivity, or we talk about the personal connectivity. So, the connectivity is the buzzword in order to create an understanding and connection. Okay. The topic is about South Asia and talking about why we need connectivity. It's about economic growth and prosperity. It is for the masses, it is for the common people to share the economic benefits, which the other regions are sharing. Let me quote, European Union is one example. Before 1945, the Europe was divided. The conflict was there. But today, we study European Union, the people are living in a peaceful environment. It is not difficult to cross borders and have a trade. So that's one example. And the other example is ASEAN, very close to our region. They have proved to be a very important forum and providing benefit to their people. So far as the South Asia is concerned, with a humble apology, we have just created different organizations for the sake of creating organization. Rather, they have, I believe, if it has no delivery capacity, it has no utility. I have a fridge in my house, but it is not working. रोज़ाना मेरी बीबी से लड़ाई होती है. Because that fridge has no delivery capacity. So we need to think about कि जी organizations को create सिर्फ नहीं करना है, बल्कि उसकी delivery capacity के ऊपर काम करना है. I have a data that in terms of South Asia, जो कि World Bank का data है, intra-regional trade accounts for only 1% of GDP, while in terms of ASEAN, it accounts for 11% of GDP. So that's to give you a reflection, the success story of ASEAN, while not the case in terms of the South Asia. The people talk about we cannot have a trade with neighbors without solving our outstanding issues. That's one theory we have. But what about Taiwan? What about the Taiwan model? The Chinese and the Taiwans, they got a problem. This is an outstanding issue. But still, it has not hampered their economic collaboration and cooperation. So, what we need, we used to live in a world which was based on competition. We tend to have a competition. The European nations tend to have a competition. But the world has changed. It's about collaboration. It's about sharing. Collaboration and sharing. And you cannot have collaboration and sharing without creating the element of trust. I think in the context of Pakistan and India, the most important part, the element of trust is missing on both parts. Not only in the context of Pakistan, but on the other side as well. I think Najmuddin Sheikh Saab mujhko shayad second kar sake. We were very close to resolve our Kashmir dispute when General Musharraf was in power. Right? But unfortunately, the leaders in Pakistan and India, they tend to calculate the political cost rather than the national cost. So how can you give benefit to the common people? Being a student of management, I always believe in cost-benefit analysis. So if I believe in giving benefit to my people, and even I have to take a political risk, there is no harm in it. A political leader or a leader is the one who's supposed to take rational decision. It may have a political cost, but the other nations, they have taken such decision. Let me share. When West Germany was taking this decision to have an integration with the East Germany, there was a lot of question mark in West Germany. Okay, why we should take the East Germans. They were economically, they were very not in a good condition as compared to the West Germany, but the German political leaders, they took that decision. And it resulted in a very strong Germany. So, पाकिस्तान के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में मैं सिर्फ यही कह सकता हूँ कि हमारे जो पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स हैं और इंडियंस भी, हमें सोचना पड़ेगा लॉन्ग टर्म continuity and consistency in our policy. You cannot celebrate success without a struggle. ठीक है, कामयाबी आसानी से नहीं मिलती. So what you need is a consistency, continuity, and rational policies. हम to and fro कर रहे होते हैं in the context of Pakistani foreign policy. ठीक है? We have to revisit the Afghan policy. We have to take our house in order before complaining to others. Indians, they got a very good relation with the Afghans, and they're talking about the regional trade with Afghanistan. We fought for Afghanistan for their struggle, and still we failed to create element of trust between both these nations. So I'm not expert. तनवीर खालिद साहिबा से थोड़ा बहुत सीख लिया होगा, आपसे सुन लिया. But I think it's a very good initiative, talking about the real issues, and I must appreciate Rabta Forum and Area Study Center for Europe for organizing this event. I was going through the booklet. I hope जो लोग जिनके papers हैं, they will talk about the real issues. और अक्सर हम कहते हैं कि find the solution. I believe in dialogue. Don't jump to the conclusion. ठीक है? पहले तालाब में तैरें, फिर दरिया में तैरें, फिर समुद्र में. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your views. Now, this is the time for shields distribution. And for that, I request Mr. Nusrat Mirza, Chairman Rabta Forum International, and Dr. Uzma Shajat, Acting Director, Area Study Center for Europe, to distribute the shields to the dignitaries. Ambassador Najmuddin Sheikh. I now request our chief guest, Dr. Khalid Mahmood Iraqi, to present shields to Mr. Nusrat Mirza and Dr. Uzma Shajat. Dr. Shaista Tabassum. Dr. Khalid Mahmood Iraqi. With this, we conclude our inaugural session. You all are requested to join us on tea. It is requested to kindly be back to the auditorium by 12:10. And before leaving, it is also requested to wait for the photo session. Kindly be seated and wait for the photo session.
कॉन्फ्रेंस का बकिया हिस्सा मुलाहिजा कीजिए अगले प्रोग्राम में. हमें दीजिए इजाज़त. अल्लाह निगहबान.